Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's the 14th of August 2024 and the time is 10:23 a.m. and it's still grey and murky and cold and rainy today. We're so spoilt in Brisbane, we really are, with the constant drought and the sunshine and the warm weather. It might be an evil city most of the time, but the weather is just astonishingly wonderful, although I guess that is another figment of hell where you're constantly boiling hot and frying in your own sweat in summer, so there is that. Oh, dark thoughts, Tanya Aarons. Very dark thoughts. I know, I can't help myself sometimes. But yes, it's still cold and damp and wet and grey, but I had a shower because my hair got all lank and oily and icky and it needed to be washed, so there is that. So I'm cold and damp and but clean and pristine yet again. Sloughed off all the negativity in the shower. I feel quite innovated now. Could go for a jog around the block. If I could stand the thought of jogging, I would do it. But I could go for a swift walk around the block, but it's raining. I might do it later though. I feel the need, Charlie, I feel the need to get some exercise, and it's 2 more sleeps till I get to do the wild dance on Friday night. So I guess I could put on music here and do the wild dance at home like I used to during the mandates. I can always do that. I'm not a prisoner of any club or any dance space. I'm a free and autonomous, wonderful woman, and I can dance, or I can walk around the block, or I even considered, I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning, which is obscenely early for me. It even sort of floated through my brain that I could go to a beach somewhere, walk in the rain on the beach. So my spirit's craving, it's craving wildness and freedom and passion and love, and it's kind of silly really. But we'll go with that. The spirit wants what the spirit wants. But yeah, I decided against a bit later on driving to a beach and walking in the rain because I don't want to get, I don't want to upset my fragile bloody lungs, do I? I'll wait till it's a sunny day and a little bit warmer. I mean, we've only got a couple more weeks of winter here in Brisbane and it'll start getting scathing fucking hot again. And then I'll be like, I wish it was winter. So it's very hard for Brisbanians to be content with our weather because it's one extreme or the other. It really is. But mind you, our winter only lasts about 3 months and hasn't been too bad, it's been bearable. So, but yes, getting so much rain in one go is kind of irritating. And Charlie's stir crazy because she likes to go out in the garden with the other wild birdies, don't you, Charlie? So she's twitter-pating and looking out the window and feeling quite fractious too. So if Charlie feels fractious, then Mama T should feel fractious too. We've got cabin fever from only 3 days of rain. Imagine what I'd be like if I lived in Scotland or Wales or England. I'd be in an asylum, although there aren't asylums anymore, are there? Well, I'd be the equivalent, chewing my own arm off, trying to find a way to get out of those constant grey, bleak hellscapes. So I guess wherever you are in planet Earth, it's all relative. I guess I could live in Vanuatu though, where it's sunshiny most of the time, except when there's cyclones. Well, anyway, I need more equilibrium and balance. So let's breathe in and breathe out. Ready? Better. Right, now I'll carry on with today's readings of even date. So I'm feeling a bit fractious and silly, and you know what happens when the Tanya gets fractious and silly. Nothing. But it's not. It's a nice thought. A nice thought that drifted through my brain for a moment there. Oh, anyway. Yes, Charlie. I had 3 pee breaks during the night, so that's not all that good, but not all that bad either. It's just blah. But I must have slept reasonably well because I feel quite mentally clear today. My body's still tired though. My body's always tired. Yes, Charlie? What do you say to that? She says, just keep going, Mama T. Just keep pushing. Mustang quay your way through life, and you never know what you'll find on the other side of happiness. Hopefully more happiness. Well, yes, indeed. It's constantly work in progress, developing that sanguine contentment and peace and joy and truest, deepest, most honouring, faithful, loyal love for the Tanya. Oh my goodness. Well, I keep trying, don't I? I keep falling over and slipping, but I do keep trying. Anyway, I posted a photo of drummers, and my title today is Happiness with my homies. Try and get this IKEA thing to sit still. It's driving me nuts. Charlie, I've cleaned up so much poop in the 5 minutes we've been making, 6 minutes and 45 seconds we've been making this video. It's the 4th one. Like, what's going on with you, girlfriend? It's too much. That's probably why she's feeling fractious. Man, she's shat a lot this week. It's a worry. You looking out the window, Charlie? What do you see? All the birdies are in the trees in their nests, staying nice and warm and sensible, like sensible birdies. Like Mama T floating around in the nether worlds between worlds on her nice warm electric blanket this morning. I thank God for that. Oh, it's just heaven. It really is heavenly. Well, I don't have a man to cuddle up with, do I? And even if I had a man, I'd still require my electric blanket, babies. I don't do cold, damp, freezing cold mattresses. I'm a sensitive little flower. What does it say here? Whooping cough cases hit record high. Oh, they're always fear-mongering, aren't they? I'm sick of them. I'm sorry I even bothered to look at that. Anyway, let's not look at the news on the computer or anywhere. It's all bollocks, most of it, or exaggerated, or just negativity, and more negativity. Anyway, today's readings of even date, 14th of August 2024. Are you ready? Charlie's ready. 7:01 a.m. Happiness is lying in bed on a warm electric blanket, cocooned in doonas, 2 doonas, listening to the rain while the cool air licks at my arms and face, breathing light, being alive, awake and aware in the spiraling psychedelic dreaming. Indeed. 14th of August 2023. I woke up at 8:30 a.m, still tired. It's a lovely sunny morning. I wonder what magic I will weave today. Last night I started working on a piece of nectarine wood someone gifted me. I tried to fill all its cracks with pink resin infused with glitter. I will see how that turned out when I haul ass out of my bed, smiley face. I want to use the wood as a bracelet display for my jewellery, and I did indeed take it into Spellbound Mana at Capalaba Central and put my bangles on it and, put it to good use, because it's no sense making shop displays and not use them, am I right? It's a pity I don't have a big enough space there where I could take in my beautiful big cutlery canteen and have everything on display in that, because I put a lot of work into that. It'd be nice for it to be seen, you know. Anyway, I have some shelves and I'm happy with that. I'm still playing make-believe that I can set up my business one day and escape both poverty and the current economic crash and the zombie apocalypse. But I doubt that will ever happen. So I keep creating stuff just for something to do, and that sanguine mistress called hope that keeps me alive and somewhat optimistic indeed. There is a place in the multiverses for me to thrive, although it may not be on planet Earth. So I must wait for my life to be coherent, congruent, and congenial again. 1:35 p.m, still heavy with grief and a fatigue that sits like a concrete block on my spirit, probably partially due to eating pizza loaded with cheese. I have been eating poorly since Bobo died. I miss him terribly. However, I've been busy since this morning listening to podcasts and making stuff. And here's the piece of nectarine wood that was originally given to me to transmute into beads. But I liked it so much I decided to, put resin on it and glitter and turn it into a jewellery display piece. Because, you know, that was and is my focus, and what have you. I filled the crevice with coral-coloured glittery resin. I love how a rainbow has shone in it via the prism caused by my sun catcher on my window. It's like a little fairy blessing, a kiss from the multiverses. Indeed it is. Here's the the skulls I made from a ice cube tray and the remaining resin and glitter. So I just wanted to use up the resin and make something with it. Waste not, want not, am I right? So funny Mama T with her quirky ideas sometimes. Anyway. I just finished a cup of coffee. So I posted the coffee grounds so that my beautiful, talented, psychic and intuitive and amazingly magical friends could have a look and interpret what they saw. So my friend Brekkie Tit, who lives in Amsterdam, wrote, "A boogeyman seen at the back is scaring a little boy with a little penis." I wrote, "Wow, interesting." She also saw 2 walking or dancing figures. The one above is pregnant. Well, what can I say? There's no wrong answers, by the way, when reading coffee or tea leaves. It's just what you see is what you see. So I circled a few things that I had noticed in the column that was going up with all the leaves climbing up the cup. It's quite interesting little symbology in there. thought a bit of fun. My friend Jared, he's a wonderful artist and a graphic designer, saw a tiki. I couldn't quite make it out, so he drew the outlines to show me it. And yes, there definitely is a tiki there. A tiki in the Maori traditional Maori religion represents good luck. So I was happy about that. Oh, another one, Charlie. My goodness. Yes. So that was 1 year ago, after 2 weeks, 13 days after Beauregard's death. Good luck. I guess I did have better luck in a way after that absolute shit show, horror show of losing my beautiful dog in the most evil, disgusting ways. They were so vicious. My luck did improve. It's almost like he took all the evil with him. But well, one has to sort of constantly be awake and aware in one's own body, mind and spirit, or as I quit in the psychedelic dreaming, be fully conscious of things not being quite right, or when things going too well, being aware that eventually the shoe might fall. So far the shoe hasn't fallen though, but astonished by that. It's been wondrous, almost miraculous. So I guess find your vibe, find your tribe, am I right? Someone really loves me, and they're making it possible for me to continue my dance no matter what, and facilitating that. I won't say who that someone is. It might be several people involved. I have a fairly good idea though. To my darling ones that support me in my wild, magical, weird ways, because together we are a community and or tribe, and together we create the magic, flowing energy between each other, flowing around that club and back to us, and it enhances our lives, it enhances everyone's lives around us. Happiness is a contagion, by the way, and healing and bliss and joy and deep love. It's much needed in our world. That's all I have to say about that. So thank you. Much gratitude to those of you who are supporting me in my astonishingly weird and unusual, quirky ways, for seeing me and loving me anyway. I had a lifetime of fucking horror in other spaces where I wasn't treated with genuine care and respect and honour and integrity. That's for sure. So 14th of August 2022, cutting the base off the remnant of my chandelier, well, originally my mother's chandelier. I figure it looks like a crown and I can still hang the crystal off it from a tree. I mean crystals, plural. But the base is welded on, so it's been arduous to cut through it. 2 hours of cutting and only a few inches. Oh well, it's a hobby. And then I laughed at the end of all that when I finally got it off. All it needed was a mallet to just give it a good whack, and it probably would have fallen apart on its own. But I did it the hard way, as I often do in life. I did it the hard, complicated way. Anyway, doesn't matter. I achieved it. Our just quickly show you. Queen Titania, well, the representation, because she doesn't look anything like this, I don't think, people. But Queen Titania of Titania's realm, with really, really big hair, sports a crown that I made from cutting off the chandelier, which was also a lot of feckin' work to grind that all off and sand it and smooth it. But I figured, you know, Her Majesty needs her crown, does she not? Queen of the forest, fae. Since we live at the foot of a forest, one must keep to the, you know, the royal insignia or regalia, and little IKEA hedgehog attached to it too. But anyway, I should get into making more fairies, but they don't sell, so it's heartbreaking. All that work and nothing sells. Everything's kind of stymied and sabotaged and atrophied. I'm getting very frustrated and upset about it all, actually. But anyway, in the meantime, I have my dance on the weekends, which is, you know, life affirming and joyous, and the rest of the week I just potter about, getting through each day and waiting for the shift to happen where I'm with my truly loving partner and I'm successful and, you know, what have you. My friend Scott wants me to write books because he's seen that I'm a very good writer. That's all fine and dandy, but there's no guarantee that the book sells, so I'm kind of teetering on the brink. But I am cobbling together a book at the moment, which is really just all my journal entries of anything related to the Brisbane music scene and dancing. But I'll have to let him and perhaps Juddy read it first, because they get mentioned in it in some of our more cuter conversations between Scott and I threw in there, and I have to run it by him. I don't need his approval, but I just want him to be comfortable before I publish it, since it mentions him personally. I could change names, but then that's boring. You know, I think it'll be nice to have a memoir from all of my experiences from being out dancing all the years, 14 years, and be nice to keep the real names, maybe not the full names, but, you know, anyway. I'll run it by him, see what he thinks about it, and if he doesn't approve of certain sections, I'll just, you know, edit them out. It's okay. It's all okay. And last time I tried to put a book together, I was completely sabotaged by a vicious, spiteful, fucking envious creature it was. So that put me off, and that was like 6 or 7 years ago. Put me off even trying, but I'm willing to try now. I've got to try because something's got to open up for me, and positivity and grace and love by the will of the gods, the Holy One and all manifestations. If it's the right time and I'm deemed talented and gifted enough and worthy enough, it will manifest. The book or several books or whatever. I don't know. I'm waffling, aren't I? I'm waffling. Just waffling. I mean, I'm provided for by the government, so there is that. It's not like I have to go into panic mode that I can't feed myself. You know, I'm provided for. I just want to get off the poverty grind and be, you know, financially independent, have my own money and not be at the mercy of the government. That's my end stage goal, but at almost 60, I've probably left it a bit too late. And it also will depend on how much my health improves in the next 6 to 12 months. Because if I get really healthy, really healthy and able to function like a normal person at long last, I guess I could get a job too, you know, who knows. I can't imagine what that would be like. It's been so many years of struggle, but what will be. And if the Holy One rains down blessings and wealth and truest, deepest love upon my head, my body, mind, spirit, soul complex, then the Holy One will do so in their own divine timing. And meanwhile, I'm exploring all my options, aren't I? You know, got my jewellery in a shop being displayed. And I'm doing my video log as I've always done for the last few years. And I'm just keeping on, doing my dance on the weekend and just sticking to things that I know spark joy in my own soul, which if they don't bring me money, at least they bring me a feeling of accomplishment and peace and my own version of success, which was, you know, feeling like I'm slowly getting somewhere and I'm surrounded by people who love me and treat me with honour, and believe you me, that in itself is success for me, given my previous experiences. Yes, Charlie. So we're all very happy and contented, pardon me, at Sacred Space. Are we not, Charlie? Come here to Mama. Come on. You come. Come and sit on my, come and sit on my shoulder. I'm thinking later on, Charlie, we might make some banana bread. Yes, banana bread would be nice, wouldn't it, on a nice cold wintry day like today? Would you like some banana bread, Charlie? I gave you banana. You didn't even eat it, you crazy bird. But she'd eat it if it was banana bread because of all the sugar. I know what she's like. She's like her mother. Right, here we go. Let's carry on. He had a good time at West End drumming by the river and was less snarly than usual. I haven't taken him with me for several months as he barks too much. But today he saw me carrying my drum out to the car and asked if he could come along with his big brown eyes. I said, "Well, Bobo, you can come along, but you better behave." He was much better. I swear to all the gods, the last few years of his life, he actually understood. He was communicating with me both telepathically and via body language. He actually understood English perfectly well, would respond in kind. You could tell by his behaviour. He was much better. Now he's lying on my thigh contentedly as I gave him a schmacko and his dinner. He knows he's been a good boy. Oh, are you serious? Why did you do this? Stupid machine. Just jumped out again. He knows he's been a good boy. Yes, that's Bobo. Can you see Bobo in the photo? That's him, yes. There he is, the handsome boy with his mama. Being a good boy. Is he a good boy like Charlie's a good girl? Yes, Charlie's a good girl too. But yeah, it was very cute how he actually asked permission to come along because he realised I hadn't taken him for a few months. And I only go there once a month, so the dog was marking time perfectly well too. Yes, he was a wonderful dog. 14th of August 2021. Life is a dance, a breath that lasts a lifetime, going in and coming out, languorously, or fast and furious, shallow, barely touching the sides. Life is a groove on a cosmic record, glitching in time, a trap or a voyeur's videotape playing on a loop. The same actors or two-bit players making cameo appearances, different faces or masks, but the same agenda. Life is a dance and a trance, sometimes somnolent, others ecstatic, but always a reel of a cosmic tragedy or parody, and sometimes, just sometimes, a divine comedy or a cosplay. Reality bites when it invades insipid, under-resourced, unimaginative dreaming. It is then that we are called home to a place beyond time and space and physicality. But the veil is thin, although the membrane between life and death, or the afterlife, is much harder to break through than they would have you believe. The corporate glass ceiling, the glass slipper, and the outer edges of personal space, craning my neck into the fetal position, ready for re-entry. But Tanya loved the unlovable and the unknowable, pushed herself through to paradigms of hellish contortions, and walked her stolid walk on her overly large feet, with her overly expansive spirit, like a damned fool. Persistence in the face of resistance, for she understands the art of rebellion, and how even water can soften and carve the hardest rock. Even the Rock of Ages sends we mortals the remedy, the opposing forces for our daily rectification. I'm running out of time, as my much vaunted bone pointers reminded me in recent years. But I am beyond time and space, and also immortal by virtue of my spirit, unclaimed and unloved and unprotected, as I have too often been in this incarnation. Always betrayed and decimated when push came to shove, and I am so tired but wary. Aware and hopeful as always, like a Pollyanna dickhead chewing on air, pretending it's that movable feast that will survive this epoch and no doubt the one after. Life finds a way, and true love holds its sway in a holding pattern of calamity, as there is no other way but crash and burn and descend again and again into the face of holy love. My God was a trickster, a liar, and a cheat, but so highly desirable and so prized. An illusory promise of redemption, of consolidation, of peace and bliss and much needed safety, gifted then torn away. Like towers, forever in a state of devolution and involution, then revolution. The psycho-babbling, contortive confusion, rebuilding my life over and over again until my mind begins to just fucking snap. Schnup, schnup, schnuppy. Are you happy today? The mockery and derision from bestial knaves with no heart and no soul and no fucking bollocks either. Last night my daughter, one of the greatest loves of my life, twisted the script on the reality of my fight to keep us safe during their childhood and painted me as the aggressor. I was sickened to my core, already feeling extremely dizzy and like I was about to stroke out. I replied, I only did those things after we had been threatened as a family for weeks and months that became years, and only after Queensland Police failed to protect or defend us as a family of women. She is running high on smug satisfaction as she just won her court case against her perpetrator and informed me how protective the court system has been of her. Nice, and about bloody time, as there was none during her childhood when I was in a battle against so many perpetrators, including my own family, that I don't even know how I did not suicide back then, as there was no protection until that bikie turned up and offered to help me. A platitude, but a kindness and a validation that no other male had preferred me at that time period. So let my children twist the script to suit their own agendas, that I was some kind of asshole who deserved the abuse and the cumulative traumas I endured. Let them think and say and do and be their own version of their own inversion of truth. I already knew back then in 2000 that the world was about to burn itself down, as I had already lived through the worst kind of debauchery inflicted on me by men, the state, and our patriarchal, homicidal, women and girl child hating police state. If I had known how my daughters would treat me with serious contempt after all I did to get us to survive and grow them into fine, upstanding, educated women and citizenry, I would have driven my car over that bridge when I had the almighty triggering from my mother telling me I was a dirty little girl and that I merited the abuse she herself had orchestrated so masterfully. Filthy, all of it. So I do hope I die soon. My mind cannot absorb or recalibrate any more hate. I'm filled with the shrapnel of so much hate thrown at me because I dared to survive, to stand up on my own tippy toes and scan a distant horizon of scant hope and girlishly, slavishly dream of real, authentic, loyal, faithful love. What a joke, a yoke, a bespoke token of, what does my psychiatrist call it? My manic denial and defiance. I defy, I deify the goddess within, and the intrepid little berserker woman with stars in her eyes and mud in her toes and a heart that is scorched and shredded, but always, with each breath, moulded from enough love and enough hope and enough faith in my own existence to get through one more day, one more day. Moulded or moulded, festy and decaying, but upright and staying zesty for now. And when my abusers invalidate my life's journey, my fight, my talents, my post-traumatic growth, my heart, my loins, my very existence, then tritely tell me that they love me, I vomit a little in my mouth. Sometimes I actually vomit into the toilet bowl. It's a trauma response, by the way, when you see me vomiting into the toilet, usually after a breakup with someone I was involved with or loved very much. But, that was really awful for my daughter to do that to me. But what can I say? There is a history, darling. As my mother used to quip, the apple does not fall far from the tree. I don't know how my daughter suddenly transmogrified into this narcissistic, cruel, sadistic person, because before she went to the UK and Ireland, she was always a bit ambivalent on and off, but I considered we were close overall. We always patched up our differences and got over any disagreements. But, maybe it's not just when she was in the UK from 2015 to 2018. Maybe we can blame it on this as well. All I know is to do that to me after this epic struggle I had raising them on my own while we were daily threatened for 18 months. To try and put the blame on me is the most profoundest of evils, and to come from my own daughters, it's incomprehensible. So I know I'm not dealing with the person that I used to know. That it's something else now to do that to me. She's not herself anymore. And I'm also having to go through the process of grieving that as well, that I've lost my daughter completely. Maybe she'll, I was about to say maybe she'll come back and be a loving daughter to me again, but I don't think it's possible now, I think it's too far gone. So anyway, it's another thing that sits like a canker in my soul that I have to constantly remind myself that it's not my fault. I begged them not to accept that poison into their bodies, and they made their own choices by their own free will before all the gods, and it's not my fault if their personality has now changed to the degree that they're hateful towards me. For what? For what actually? Trying to save their ass and keep them safe and holding my own line. That's my cry. It's beyond comprehension. Anyway, here I write, real love does not harm, assuage, or delegitimize. Real love does not put a false balm on twisted scripts to make oneself feel better about their inherent or inherited or newly acquired scorn or hatred or contempt. And yes, it is possible to love even the faces of evil. Man, I could have a PhD in that and just on its own. My God, the rot and the pestilence and the narcopaths and the psychopaths that I poured so much love to the point I almost died numerous times, is astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. And then to have my own daughter turn around and say, oh, you were the aggressor, it was all your fault. Like, what? Say what? But anyway, it is possible to love even the faces of evil, of treachery and of scorn. I have a mastery of that. Yes, I do. Well, it's why I'm trying very hard to discern people better and be careful who I invest all my heart and soul into, because humans are fickle things and capricious and can be very, very cruel and evil, and it's why it's safer for me to stay on my own actually, and I can only really trust in my own self most of the time. Sometimes I can't even trust myself, because we all get tempted by the thought that we might have a true and gorgeous love life and people around us that might actually love us. It is kind of a temptation. But anyway, true hearts and true souls, true minds are always revealed, and it's always revealed by their own actions, words, deeds, intentions are always revealed. It's a cosmic law. Evil, before it destroys you completely, has to tell you its plans. We were warned years before this current paradigm. We were warned at least a decade before. It actually comes up in my writings that I was intuiting as far back as 2016 to 17, which was only 3 or 4 years before that I was picking up on something really, really pervasive and evil coming. I just didn't know what exactly it was. But, that intuition kept me safe, actually. Because when it hit, I was just like, initially I was laughing at it, to be honest. I saw all the little footsteps marking out that we had to walk in a certain direction, like cattle in a slaughterhouse. I was like, this is madness, utter madness. And I would verbalise it, this is utter madness, and yet everybody would just look at me like docile herd animals unable to comprehend the enormity of it. I guess it was easier than having to live in that reality like I've had to. It's probably why I'm so ill now. I've burnt out from all the stress of it. I'm just burnt out. But anyway, which makes me even more grateful that I have kind people around me who are loving and nurturing and encouraging, because I'm burnt out. I've had decades and decades of trauma before this event happened. So it's just one thing too bloody many. It's probably why there were so many suicides, because people like me with histories like mine were just like, yeah, I'm out of here. I can't take any more of this evil bullshit. And yet here I am, still alive, striving to thrive as I do every day. So it's quirky and incongruent and a tad bizarre, to be honest. Here I write, but I will not keep doing this. Bear in mind, this was written in 2021. Yes, 2020, so 3 years ago. But I will not keep doing this, loving the faces of evil. I have learned my inherent value as a woman, as a mother, as a former lover and or friend, and as a spirit. And I am done with false gods, false humans, false cognitive dissonant paradigms. Done. And having made that declaration 3 years ago, it's kind of interesting that I slowly began to reclaim and rebuild my life too, literally from the ground up again. Brown alpaca fleece is finally all brushed. 2 days work. My hands are so sore and swollen. The Tanya needs to get busy, as I said yesterday, and start spinning that wool. That'll keep me occupied, take my mind off things, stop focusing on fantasies and dreams and nonsense that can't be actualised. 14th of August 2020. (11:11 p.m. Freedom to the Tanya. He's changed his route. He used to go up here first and then come down and empty my bin. Oh well, doesn't impact on my day, it's just an observation. 14th of August 2019. Metro.co.uk wrote an article, "You don't look sick. My arm hurts so much I considered having it amputated." And I responded, "I had pain in my knee for years after falling down at Greenslopes Shopping Centre. It still comes and goes. Excruciating nerve pain." Some man just approached my fence and asked for 10 lengths of my black bamboo for his kids at school to build forts with. I said yes, but it's not a strong bamboo that they use for building, so it won't make anything permanent. He has gone off to get his chainsaw. And then I posted a very funny, well, I thought it was funny, from Janice Ian, the folk singer. Quote of the day: "No matter how bad things get, you got to go on living, even if it kills you." From Shalom Aleichem. And then she posted this meme with a photo to go with it. Senior Centre, don't forget, remember to turn, wake up, lunch only $4, turn now. And I replied to that meme, and it does kill you. You get slayed by poverty, abuse, broken love affairs, and deep heart connections that are sabotaged, so never truly fly. By surgeries that bring you to the brink of death, that was so blissful and welcome that you were rescued. While smiling into the exhalation and curiously contemplating heaven. Then you are subjected to more abuse, but you fought like a demon, as there is no justice unless it helps everyone. You crawl with your wounded heart and wounded post-operative body home to be with your cats and dog to heal, mostly alone in a life where other women are pampered as they have families and are loved sublimely. But you heal, you fucking heal. And you get up 12 days later to dance again, and 4 weeks later to drum in a circle, and 7 weeks later, what the fuck? You rise and shine and blossom and stomp as you are fully reintegrated back into this life yet again. But you have been killed, and things need to change. And you know you need to open up to love, and hope, and that stubborn dream of finding a love partner one fine day, which you even accept is ridiculous, as you never had a hope in Hades in this superficial, callow, cruel society. (2019). But death, your dear friend and handmaiden, has tangoed you back from the precipice and spun you into a new stretch of lifespan. So there must be more hope and more love and more good times in store for me, or my death would not have been so ignobly interrupted. Of course there is no death, just another incarnation until I get enough light and wisdom and join with the Ein Sof All. But even the Holy One rejects me for more time on earth. Who am I to doubt the will of God? Who am I indeed? So here we go, splonging in the shadowlands, rising and shining my bright light, breathing fire and banging my own beat in a rhythm that makes sense only to one who is forced to endure against her better judgment, because the gods are crazy and determined and have a sense of humour, but also a sense of the sublime. I am destined to get older, to fulfill my mission, whatever that is, to plant out my water lilies as I did yesterday, and then have every bone ache and be cast down by weakness. But there will be another season or 20, and another flowering. There will be joy and passion and desire. I am Desiree, and maybe, just maybe, a strong, devoted, authentic, requited love. That was a huge one, Charlie, by the gods. And if not, I will survive. (14th of August 2018). I love Facebook. I have missed out due to my long ago entrenched poverty issues, stymied by abuse, on ever being able to afford to go to concerts, music festivals like Woodford, or go on holidays. I have been unable to travel. Just one of my greatest dreams was that I hope to visit all the sacred sites around the earth one day. Oh, but I can armchair travel on YouTube. It's not the end of the world. But it would have been so lovely to have had enough money to travel the world and go to all those magical and holy and sacred places and spaces and feel the vibration and the energy through my own body, mind and spirit on my own solid hobbit feet, right? It's a wonderful fantasy I have. I am the psychedelic dreamer after all. So today someone in one of my groups posted about Burning Man. I told them I shall enjoy seeing videos of their experience, i.e. live vicariously through them. So they posted photos on the page. Just awesome. The other day, another friend posted a beautiful video of their home state, Transylvania in Romania. I really enjoyed my armchair journey. Late last year and early this one, I got to see America, Croatia and Slovenia, Amsterdam and London and the Czech Republic via my well-travelled, amazing friends. I have enjoyed the photos of Switzerland from another friend's posts also. Mama T is going nowhere fast, but loving the world as it is presented to me via the internet. And just blipped off again by the gods. Where were we? We were in 2018, weren't we? The world is my oyster, and I am the world. Interconnectedness is the bomb of bliss I have always been waiting for. I made an appointment with my doctor on Thursday. I will ask for blood tests and an endoscopy. Still feeling very weak and a bit flushed in the face today. Tomorrow is Eka Day, so I had to wait until Thursday. All good, just resting today. Actually, I think today is Eka Day of even date, which is a holiday for the exhibition here in Brisbane. It's only a holiday for the Brisbane City Council region though. I think the other regions get their own days. Redlands, I think, had it on Monday, their little holiday. Anyway, I avoid the Eka because it's always massive crowds and you're guaranteed to get the flu and it's expensive, and I enjoy seeing all the handicrafts that people exhibit and seeing all the baby animals, and it's lovely, but I haven't been for years because it's, as I said, too crowded and too disease-ridden, especially with flu season and winter. 14th of August 2017. Damn animals. Penny and Bobo both woke me up and won't let me sleep. I've put them both outside, driving me nuts. Yes, Charlie. 10:11 a.m. Just woke up after a bad night. Bobo whined and yelped from 4 a.m. Lots of dogs in the neighbourhood also barked. I wonder what that was about actually. It's unusual that they were all so restless. Not much sleep, exhausted. But anyway, back into room. Here we go, another day. I posted a photo of this beautiful giant golden orb spider. I actually find them quite beautiful. Bloody hell, why is it doing that? Sorry. Anyway, there it is. There's the photo. Gorgeous spiders. I had a family of them living in my eaves. We had an arrangement. They were allowed to live in harmony with me as long as they did not build their webs at my height. Nice guys. Birds got them in the end. I miss them still. They started by making their webs quite low, like eye level, and I was constantly walking into them at night in the garden especially. So it got to be a real problem. And so actually what I did was, because I'm a shaman and I'm a bit unusual and quirky like that, I went out and I stood out under their, webs, and I spoke to them. I said, look here, guys, you want to live to a ripe old age and have children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren and thrive, and because you keep putting your webs at my height, I keep breaking your webs and destroying any opportunities of you to thrive. So you need to work with me here. I said, I don't fancy breaking your webs and having you in my face. Not that they ever landed in my face, thankfully, but still. I said, and you want to have generations of spiders. How about you build your nests up higher and we all live in perfect harmony? And here's the astonishing thing. It's almost as if they understood me. They did that. There was about 10 of them around the house. They all moved their webs up high, right on the eaves, and that worked perfectly. We lived quite harmoniously. But one day an electrician came from Energex and he had to climb up on the ladder and get right up under this eave here, actually. Anyway, it was hilarious, because I thought it was hilarious, because he climbed up the ladder and he was right next to one of my pet golden orb spiders, and he goes white and starts shaking and starts almost falling off the ladder. I said, what's wrong? He said, there's a massive big fucking spider up here. I went, yeah, they live up there. We have an arrangement. They're allowed to live in perfect harmony as long as they stay out of my face, which they're doing. He said, but it's right in my face now. I went, yeah, but the spider doesn't know you're going to have to do work. We didn't factor in the equation that we're going to need an electrician up here. I said, I didn't invite you here. This is Energex's idea. He says, I'm going to kill that spider. I said, you harm that spider. I said, you'll be dealing with me. What, he said? You're crazy, lady. I said, there's no reason to harm that spider. It's not interested in you. It's stayed out of my way. I said, we've lived in perfect harmony for the last 12 months. Do not harm that spider, I said. So anyway, he'd come back down to have this conversation with me. He moved the ladder along a little bit. Well, fair cop, And then finishes the job, he said, I've never met anyone like you, lady. He said, aren't you scared? I said, why would I be scared? It's just a spider. I said, it's humans you got to watch out for. He left and just scratched his head. He was scratching his head all the way to the front gate. Took off like a long dog. But anyway, those massive big spiders lived there for a while longer, and as I said, a bird came and just picked them off in the end. They weren't destined to be great-grandmothers and great-grandfathers after all. Oh, and the odd thing is, they never came back. It's almost like they decided we weren't actually all that safe in that house, and they didn't come back. I haven't seen them since. But what was astonishing was that I had this weird communion with them, and they understood to stay out of my my frame of reference. My 5'3" or 5'2 3/4" now, or how much I'm higher now because I'm shrinking with age. But anyway, they knew to stay out of my way, and that way they survived and lived happy lives, and I survived at ground level, living happy lives, and it was actually really beautiful. Like, I'm really grateful that I had that experience with those spiders. So although it sounds loopy to the uninitiated, Communicate. They might not understand your words, but they understand the energy that you're putting out. Saying, I want to live in harmony with you, and you do your thing, you do, I'll do my thing. The only thing I wasn't all that thrilled when I had the giant serpent, carpet python in my bathroom. Even then I was like, you're a beautiful snake, but you can't be in my bathroom. And I was like freaking out, and again, he just went straight back down where he'd come from. Communicate. Have respect, genuine loving care for all that is, and you'd be surprised how many creatures respond to you in kind. Of course, that snake will be back come spring because it kind of wants to eat Charlie. I'm fairly sure of that. It's been around before, hasn't it, Charlie? It's got plans for you, Charlie. It's not allowed to have my Charlie. It's a beautiful snake, but it can eat other wild birds out in the bush. It's not allowed to touch my Charlie, and that's all there is to say about that. Just saying. But anyway, when the warmer weather comes, I'll have to be careful when I leave her outside unattended, because that thing moved so fast. By the gods, I was impressed how quickly it moved. August 14th, 2016. I just found my good spectacles. They are not buried in the turkey mound after all. I thought I lost them in the garden, and he might have scraped them up with mulch. So good to have my glasses back. 2 weeks without them. I almost took another pair of designer frames. I had these second-hand designer frames that actually my friend Lucy used to give me. And I took one in, and the optometrist said, I don't know, she must have thought they were stolen or something. They weren't stolen, they were bought in second-hand shops. But anyway, she took them and said, I lost them. Fucking bitch. Oh, she was a bitch. Anyway, I won't name it, but it's a bitch. Anyway, here I say, I almost took another pair of designer frames into my optometrist to get lenses in them. I have 2 spare frames, but I didn't want to spend money yet, as I'm due for a new script in 6 months' time, as my eyes keep getting slightly worse. So phew, another little break. Thank you, universe, for small mercies and for big miracles too. That crazy optometrist bitch was the one that said I had, what's it called? Can't think of the word, but you go blind from it. Not glaucoma, the other one. Anyway, when I saw my car at my new optometrist, he said, well, she's a bit, how did he put it? Ambitious. No, that's not the word. Anyway, he said she was an idiot. She's using antiquated equipment and it's not right. And then he did the testing on my eyes and he said, you do have a kind of a weird anomaly there at the back of one of your eyes and you've got the beginnings of cataracts. He said, but it's not, come on, I can't even think of the word. She had me convinced I was going blind. I actually freaked out about that for weeks, thinking I was going to go blind. He said, you're not going blind. He said, you will need your cataracts to be operated on. He said, they'll blow up round about. He said, sometimes it's earlier, sometimes it's later, but he said, usually they blow up about the age 67. He said, but you should be all right until then. Anyway, very nice man. So it's proof that when dealing with health professionals, you should always get a second opinion when they give you a dire kind of prediction like that. I do get blurred vision though fairly often, and the new optometrist said, yeah, because when you get tired, the cataracts probably, affect things more, but he said, you'll be fine. Hopefully I will be fine. Anyway, if I'm not fine, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it, won't I? Like everything else I've had to do in life. Oh, here we are. I found them on the shelf in the bathroom, the glasses. Must have tucked them away when I was taking a shower. Funny how they turned up when I had given up on them. 1:20 p.m, just woke up. Everything hurts but still going strong. I was so exhausted it even hurt to get in and out of the car for the trip home. Getting too old for this shit, but I had a great weekend. I helped Danette finish off emptying out her house. She gave me lots and lots of cuttings from her garden. I will try to strike them and keep them alive so I can give some back to her when she buys herself another home. So now it is time to get up and plant all the other plants she gave me in the garden. I already put the cuttings in water when I got home last night before going out dancing again. Gardening done, orchids tied into a few trees. I planted the hippeastrum bulbs in a large pot. I planted the peace lilies next to one of my ponds. I planted the fern tree next to some big trees at the side of my house near the Monstera deliciosa. That one died too. I watered it all in, spread the mulch Annette gave me on the rose bed. It all looks lovely, very happy and grateful. Then I took the Beauregard to the dog park. He was naughty at first, so we nearly left, but I gave him a second chance, and he ended up having a nice time with lots of dogs. Strange, moody little bugger. Oh, I miss him, even though he was a moody little bugger. I have been very weak and sick tonight. Overdid the exercise. Ugh, poor old bod. I had a long Epsom salt bath, then a shower to wash my hair. Now clean and fresh, but suffering terrible stomach pains. Unbeknownst to me, I had gallstones. So time to sleep and rest if I can. I have symptoms of dehydration from overexertion. I just Googled it, trying to analyse why I do this to myself every weekend. It is nuts. I do enjoy the music and the dancing, but with my major health issues, obstructive sleep apnea, chronic fatigue, arthritis, asthma, it is not surprising that my frenetic dancing nearly kills me. Plus, I did gardening today, laughing out loud. I must remember I am not young anymore and not as strong as I think I am. My body rebels every time I try to do too much. It is incredible how much it rebels. Lol. Anyway, I will try to sleep and things will be better tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. CPTSD means I was never blessed with robust health since infancy. I have done well to survive this long and to have had 4 years of dancing at all. There were many years when that would have been impossible. So I'm very pleased with my efforts to live my own authentic life and to have some fun before I die or rot away with decrepitude. Being out in the world on the weekends has brought me to meet some lovely people. I am happy about that. And my friend Kelly Ann wrote, "You dance because it's your giant middle finger to the universe. It's your F you, I'm going to have one thing I enjoy, even if it kills me." Kind of like me and four-wheel drive and or camping, I suppose. winky face. And I replied to her, true dat. My friend Louise in Manchester wrote, feel better, you overdid it. Aren't they sweet how they encourage me along? They're just lovely. The old gods are awakening and bringing all Indigenous peoples back into cosmic and global consciousness. The reign of tyranny of once Middle Eastern 2,000-year-old religions that was thrust upon many cultures of the earth in the form of rape, thievery, child sexual abuse and land acquisition is at last waning. Hopefully now the gods are back walking amongst us. There will be peace and responsibility to the planet and interconnected harmony. I am grateful to be living in these miraculous times. May the Holy One, in brackets, primordial consciousness, the unjealous, non-malevolent God of my understanding, allow all his or her or their manifestations in all time and place to be glorified and exalted and bring wisdom, peace and unity to this world and all other worlds where life exists. Let all faiths that wreak hatred, murder, sex abuse, poison of land and sea and air and greed fall into oblivion, never to return. If we cannot serve God, or plural gods, in genuine love for all that exists, then we, as humans on this host planet, are doomed. The gods have spoken. I wrote that in response to Valheim Hof in Denmark, dedicated to Odin and the gods. And Jared posted some links from Iceland. Asatru, pagans reach new height with first temple, and another link, heathens purchase building for public Norse temple in Minnesota. So the Viking Norse gods are indeed being honoured again and brought back into full vibrancy and walking amongst us. All the gods, all the ancient ones, and they're back because there's been enough mutilation and desecration and destruction to our planet. 14th of August 2015. Trigger warning, child sexual abuse. Cup of tea time for those of you of a fragile nature. 6:06 p.m. Hungrier than a rampaging wildebeest and madder than a hornet, that a father of a sexual abuse survivor who bravely brought about the Royal Commission into institutional child sexual abuse is being silenced. We will not be silenced on this issue. Not ever. No. Rotten hell, you salacious perverts. I am heating up potato bake. It is Shabbat, the night of sacred peace, when the Shekhinah nestles upon us all. The Shekhinah is the feminine presence of God. May she bring some avenging angels, you know, the dark ones who smite the evil from our lives. May she bless us with justice, beauty, truth, peace, and so much love. We are overflowing with all the good things in life, as has become my heathenish, but ever a Jew, practice. I will be calling down the spirits of light and love and stomping on the dance floor. I will fly in the face, pardon me, of psychopaths and scumbags and thrive. I will inspire those who have lost their way, their own light diminished by years of trauma. Together we will burn our inner eternal flame so bright that even evil will cower before us. Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, Michael, stand beside me, behind me, in front of me, inside of me. Guard your wounded servant and let us heal. I know the taskmaster is weary. We all are, but together we can effect real change. It starts with faith, not just in a supernal power, but in ourselves. Shabbat Shalom, Sabbath peace. Later I wrote in very large block letters, what would you do if you were not afraid? Indeed, what would you do? I replied, be happy, be strong, be me. 14th of August 2014. I just changed my bedding. My beloveds, probably Penny, have thrown up on my expensive goose down doona. So now I have no doona, and I love that thing. It's my cocoon. I will have to find money for expensive dry cleaning of said doona. Celibacy with sexless furball hairball hurlers has its drawbacks. Penny smugly smiles as she works up a new vomit, no doubt. Vixen. Actually, she is just as pissed off as the sleeping bag I am using for a doona has a horrid cold satiny covering. She even grunted at me. That will teach her not to vomit on the good stuff. Lila Tov, 3:21 a.m. Time to dream again. I wasn't actually mad at her for vomiting. She clearly wasn't well, my beautiful girl. It was just the ickiness and the inconvenience of rolling over in a vomit during the night. I need to dry clean my doona ASAP. I missed it so much last night. I need my cocoon. How else can I emerge each day a sparkling, glorious butterfly? In the morning, I might look like a crone, but as the day, or rather night, goes on, I become a creature of intrigue and delight. Ha! So there. I had a lovely afternoon. Lots of visitors to my sacred space. The tiny tots from next door brought their lovely grandfather over to visit my chickens, cats and goldfish. It was funny as their parents rarely ever enter my property. Poverty and eccentricity might be contagious, don't you know? But the babies and their grandfather are less judgmental. So I gave them a tour of the garden and the little ones were delighted. Then Geeta and her little daughter Sonia visited. I had a lot in common with Sonia. We have similar names and both went to Hamburg, Germany when we were 8. Well, she is 8 now and went last year. She was actually 7, but anyway, close enough. That was interesting. Spring is coming. This is the time of year when, for some nutty reason, I have often started relationships. I met my former husband on the 28th of August. Eek, 2 weeks away, laughing my ass off. I wonder if it will ever happen again. This time I'm watching the calendar with circumspection, trepidation, and curiosity. My mind boggles. I have enjoyed the solitude of my boudoir this winter, snuggled into my bed on the warm electric blanket to save heating costs, cuddling up with my cats. I suspect spring and summer will be spent the same way, minus the electric blanket. At least I know my cats adore me and are faithful, albeit neutered and celibate bed partners. Here's to being de-sexed and sexless, smiley face. Well, we don't want that, do we, if I want a loving partner next time? Need a virile man. I mean, I'm the de-sexed one since I had a hysterectomy at 42, but I need a man that's still got a passion and stamina and virility and oh, that's cute, Tanya. Oh, it's just a but anyway, you know what I mean. It's like I've waited a long time to enter into a sexual partnership again. A long, long time. So of course I hope that it's someone that can still be a wonderful lover to me when the appointed time arises. My friend Margaret Jacovat wrote, "Hey, come to think of it, I've started more relationships in spring too. What is it about that season?" And I replied, "Twitter-pated, lol, according to Thumper." Thumper is the rabbit in Bambi. Twitter-pated. Anyway, I had a declaration of love on the 25th of August last year, which was very astonishing. Came out of left field, actually. We're friends. We're just friends, platonic friends. But it was just so gorgeous. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. 25th of August, almost on time when I start love affairs. But anyway, it didn't go into that. We didn't pursue that, because that person's not available. However, it meant a lot to me when he said, "I love you." I'd just lost my dog and I was pretty much blown to pieces, and I'd arrived at the Brooklyn Standard for the first time, having just walked out on the casino after their viciousness, just after my dog died. So it was gorgeous, and I love you too, my friend, very, very much. And but there's the old thing about springtime and being Twitter-pated. I'm blushing. Why am I blushing? I haven't done anything to be ashamed of. Why am I blushing? Well, anyway, springtime. It's that time of year, babies. It's that time of year. 14th of August. I'm laughing at myself, actually. It's kind of cute. Kind of cute and adorable. 14th of August 2013. God, I am tired. Too much insomnia followed by too much effort. Feel like my soul is leaching out of my body, all squidgy around the edges. Probably Twitter-pated then and in denial about it too, if the truth be known. 14th of August 2012. Suffering extreme mental exhaustion, so I spent today in bed, nice and cosy in my artificial womb with my electric blanket on. 2. Nothing to do but wait for the final settlement. Oh dear goddess. Oh, that was a hellscape. 2.5 years of grinding fucking epic hell. And a kickstart to my new life so I can be truly free of my family of origin, their henchmen, and their sycophantic minions, i.e. flying monkeys. Free of old lovers' psychopathic aborted attempts to kill and destroy me. Free falling freely into the unknown and slightly fearful of what will come to fill the void, the desecration of my life. Only goodness, unconditional love, mercy and positivity, or so I pray. Amen. Well, that didn't work out for me, did it? 2 years later, I met that dreadlock nitwit, and that was another, years and years of suffering over someone that wasn't sincere and cruel and awful. It's just beyond awful. But I'm over that now, thank the gods. And I truly am looking forward to, a truly loving man being in my life, even if it's just friendship. I'm okay with that. But I'm also kind of hoping one day to, invite a man into my life who's available to be a truly loving, sexual, loyal, faithful partner to me. So, 60, one more year to go, babies. No, 8 months to go, because I'm 59 in 4 months. Shall I count the days? No. If I get my hopes up, I'll be so grief-stricken, it'll be beyond. It'll spiral me under. I'm just moving through life one day at a time, sweet Moses, and waiting to see if the CPAP works on me, and then I guess I'll be, when I have more energy and able to do more, I'll be able to open up, fully open up to maybe a sexual partnership again. Because there's no point doing that when you're flailing around, spiralling under, constantly, chronically ill. No one wants you then. No one wants you. And I know that because I've been celibate now for 10 years, so no one wants you. And I understand that. I totally do understand that. Charlie, that's intense. So much poopykins, by the gods. 14th of August 2011. Home invasion, inspection tomorrow. So I'm halfway through steam mopping the floors. It's so hard to motivate. I procrastinated all day by gardening. Oi. Good thing is the house is okay looking. And I know my once a year inspector doesn't really care about the house being clean. Only checks the smoke alarm and oven. But, shmeh, I guess it's a good excuse to clean the floors. Grr. Ho-hum sort of day. I woke up at midday with stomach pain and the kind of wild, fractious feeling which means there is a storm coming. So to channel my energies, I went out, cut down a banana tree, cut it up, put it in the compost, then weeded some of the back garden. Then I came inside, had a shower and cooked an awesome vegetarian curry using up tins in my larder. Now watching TV, but really, really wish I could play up. Must have been a bit Twitter-pated that date too. Finally got to watch Sons of Anarchy, Season 1, Episode 1 and 3. Just love it. Gail was right. Now I'll have to put that on my wish list to buy one day. It's a very good show. I'm enjoying the full moon. Woo. What do you say, Charlie? And my little dog too, Arf, which in those days was my little Bella Rosa, a little Pomeranian, who refused to howl. That's why I joked, and my little dog too. Beauregard used to love a good howl though. He'd howl for the cops and the ambulances and the fire brigade. All the sirens would set him off. He took it very seriously too. Anyway, this concludes today's readings of Even Date. I actually made it through a whole video without having it break down or having to do it in bit parts, so that's nice. And today is a gorgeous, magical day. The Tanya is indeed Twitter-pated. I woke up this morning and thought, I'm alive in this body. But, you know, I can't do anything with that, so I'll just smile into the Brisbane grey and rain and cold and damp, and as always, just keep living my best life. So, on that note, wherever you are in the space-time continuum, be happy, be alive in your own body, mind and spirit, and be kind to each other. Bye for now. From Sacred Space, Titania's Realm.